So welcome back, everybody. We're going to start our class seated as we always do. You are welcome to stay seated throughout the class as well. And know that that can change from class to class. So if there's a day you feel you'd rather come to stand, you're welcome to stand. If there's days you'd prefer to come to sit all class, that's okay too. I will give you options. I know in this sort of setup, it's hard for me to see exactly what options you might need. So if you find your needs aren't being met through class, please send me an email or talk to me after class, and I'll make sure to incorporate more options for people throughout our practice. It's hard for me to see too, there's just so many right now. We have 2 pages of people. I think we have 29 people in class today, so it's great. So if you do find throughout class that you're just not getting the options that you need, please send me an email or chat with me. I can absolutely add those to class. Okay, so as you come into your seat, sit about mid-chair. Make sure your feet are able to touch the ground, and then you're going to lift and spread your toes a few times. So go ahead, just lift and spread the toes a few times, maybe giving them a little bit of a wiggle, looking down at your feet as well. And then setting the feet down onto the ground, letting the toes settle down. Rest your hands, palms up into your lap. Set your shoulders onto your back and sit up a little bit taller. Now remember, when we lift up, we lift from the chest, the heart, opening up through the chest and the heart, letting the shoulders slide down the back. And then if it's comfortable for you to close your eyes, go ahead and start to close your eyes. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, you're welcome to do that, but try to let your eyes soften a little bit here. We're making that conscious choice to turn our attention inwards. Start to notice yourself breathing. Notice the muscles in your body that you are already using. And just see if maybe some of those muscles can actually soften a little bit. Maybe you don't need to use them quite as much. Good. Notice if your tongue is pressing strongly to the roof of the mouth, can you soften your tongue just like you do your eyes? Can you soften your tongue and let it drop down from the roof of the mouth? Keeping your lips touching, let the lower jaw hang from the upper jaw. We're going to take a few deliberate breaths here in and out. We're going to breathe in for a count of 8, and we're going to breathe out for a count of 8. Now, if you find this count maybe a little too long for you, that's okay. Shorten it for yourself. Breathe in for a count of 6 or 5, and then breathe out for the same count that you breathe in. But I'll do a count of 8, and you can join me if that feels okay for you. So let's just start with a big full breath in, as big and as full as you can. And then let it out with a sigh. Beautiful. At the bottom of that exhale, now breathe in through your nose for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep breathing in right to 8. Beautiful. Now exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Empty out 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhaling 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So now release the effort of breathing, but see if you can maintain a fullness of breath here. So your breath might not sustain that 8 count, that's okay. But see if you can keep a fullness to your breath and a balance between your inhales and exhales. Taking your hands now, turning them down onto your thighs. Slide your hands forward on your legs. So your fingertips are probably touching your kneecaps. You might even be holding your kneecaps. And then we're going to simply slide the rib cage from side to side. And I say simple because it's not a complex movement, but for some of us, we might want to keep this motion really small. So especially if you have any concerns or soreness in your back, your motion might be a little bit smaller. But if the spine's feeling okay, there's no concerns or issues there, you can let yourself slide as big and as full as you can from side to side. Good. So we're just starting to warm things up here. We want to watch too how we move. So sometimes our body does movements to compensate for injury or tightness in an area. Sometimes that's a good thing. Other times it's not actually necessary. We're kind of holding on to old patterns in the body. And so you want to see here as you're sliding from side to side that you're actually moving your rib cage from side to side. So you'll feel it right below the rib cage. You're not just tipping from side to side or teetering from side to side. So your hips are actually staying heavy on the chair and you're feeling the rib cage move. So it might be a bit of a smaller motion and that's okay, but it's a really quality movement there in the spine. Good. Let's bring the spine back into the center and now take your rib cage and lift it forward and up. Lift the chin up and look up. Breathe as deep and as full in as you can. And now slowing that breath out as you exhale, round down and in. Arms stay straight, curl in, look towards your belly. Beautiful. Inhale, come forward and up, look up. Exhale, curl down and in. Use your breath here. Fill up as big and as full as you can as you arc your back. And then empty out as much as you can. Hug in, hug the belly in, hug the chin in. Beautiful. Let's do 3 more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Beautiful. One more like that. Inhale, come forward and up. Exhale, curl down and in. Nice. Now let's add all those motions together. Come forward and up. Shift to your right, round in through center and go towards your left. Starting to curl or round the rib cage. So we're circling the rib cage here. Again, the motion is coming from the upper half of your torso. So be aware here. What are you actually doing? Where do you feel this motion? Good. Let's try circling the other way. Just simply reverse it. Go back in the opposite direction. So you might be feeling this ideally in your belly. So you feel kind of churning action in the belly. This is really good. Get those digestive juices flowing. Good. Process out the holidays. Good. Nice. Let's come back into center now. Sitting nice and tall. Slide your hands up your legs now so they're resting palms down kind of mid-thigh. This will ease off the shoulders. And we can give the shoulders a few gentle rolls. So just lifting them up, back, and down. There's no rush here. These don't have to be very fast, but we do want to try to make them as complete as we can. So you're trying to create as full a circle motion for both shoulders as you can. Good. Let's do a little bit of breath work here to get our energy lifted for our practice. So we're going to take the shoulders now and inhale. As we do, lift those shoulders up towards your ears. And then as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. We're going to do this through the nose unless you feel it's necessary for you to breathe through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, shoulders up. Exhale at the nose, shoulders down. Good. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's speed it up a little bit. Get that energy moving, get that breath flowing. Good. This is really good to get that blood pumping, but also to help the energy lift up in the body, clear the head for the day. 3 more. Last one. Inhale, shoulders up, big breath in as the shoulders shrug up to the ears. Now slow, long breath up the nose as the shoulders make their way back down. Good. Let the eyes close again. Feel the sensations in the body. There might be a little kind of percolating sensation. Keep yourself present here, focused where you are. Now let's slowly turn the head from side to side, get a little motion in the neck. We've warmed up the spine here, so you might feel a little bit more motion available, maybe, depending on what's going on in your neck this morning. Yeah, the next time you turn and look towards your left, let your chin drop down towards your left shoulder, glide it across your chest, lift it up and over the right shoulder. Then let it drop back down and across the chest and lift it up over the left shoulder. We're going to go like this from side to side. Good. Next time you lift your chin over to the right, take an inhale breath and let the chin lift up towards the ceiling and across to the left. Then exhale again, down and across the chest. Inhale, roll it up and back. Exhale, down and across. Now again, caring for that neck and spine. If rolling your head back is not appropriate for you today, that's okay. Stay with those half circles or stay with the side to side turning if that felt better. If you're doing full circles with the neck, let's reverse the direction now. Circle the other way. Using that inhale still as the head rolls back. And the exhales as the chin comes down and across. Beautiful. Bring the head back up into center. Once again, lift from the chest. Sit up as tall as you can. And let's float those arms straight out in front. Squeeze the fingers together so you can't see through the fingertips there as you point the fingers forward. And we're going to turn the hands up towards the ceiling and then down towards the ground. Just a little bit of motion in the wrist. Squeeze those fingers together as best you can as you do this motion in the wrist. And again, with a sense of presence and awareness with what you're actually doing. So not just what you're being told by me, but what you're actually doing. Notice the motion in the arms. Is it coming from the wrist or is it coming from elbows or shoulders? Can we just move the wrists here? Beautiful. Let's bring fingertips now in towards the thumbs and then circle at the wrists. This is a good one to get that isolation in the wrists. Good. Let's circle the other way. Nice, let's bring those fingertips now in towards the shoulders. Open the elbows nice and wide, lift the chest up, look up. Exhale, bring those elbows in to touch in front and then round down and in. Squeeze the belly and curl in. Inhale, lift those elbows up and out, lift the chest up, look up. Exhale, bring those elbows down and in. Beautiful. Inhale, lifting up, looking up. Exhale, curling down and in. Let's do one more. Inhale, lift up, look up. Beautiful. Exhale, curl down and in. Really nice. Let's come back to those elbows nice and wide. We're going to free the hands up, bring them over the elbows. Now, if you have any concerns for the shoulders, you will simply pivot your hands so they point forward. Otherwise, if the shoulders are feeling okay today, your hands are going to point straight up. On your inhale breath, take a reach through the arms, lift out, up or out, and then as you exhale, curl your fingers over your thumbs and pull those elbows into the sides. We're going to inhale and exhale out the nose again, unless it's necessary for you to use the mouth. Inhale, reach up or out. Exhale, pull in. Good, let's keep going. Nice, strong breaths out. This Jai breath, that's what this is called, is our Jai breath. Really gets our energy going, wakes up the brain. Good. Three more. Last one. Now inhale, reach out, reach out, reach out, reach out. Big breath in, look up. Let the breath continue to flow, but lift the heart up, lift the gaze up, spread the fingers, extend outwards. Beautiful. As you exhale now, fold forward. Let your elbows come onto your thighs or your hands onto your shins, ankles, or feet. If there's any concern for blood pressure, keep your head above your heart. Otherwise, let your head hang forward here in our forward fold. Feeling that compression on the belly. You'll feel your breath a little bit more into the back of your body. Bringing your hands now onto your feet, shins, or knees. Inhale and slide those hands up the legs. Keep inhaling as they come up past the belly and the chest, reach up. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rolling up, sweeping up, looking up. Exhale, folding forward. Good. Keep going like this. Big sweeping motions. Nice. Last one here, we're gonna inhale and sweep those arms up, reach up. Again, look up, keep the breath moving, extend upwards, get really long. Beautiful. Turn your palms forward now and take a hold of the right wrist with your left hand. Hug your ears with your upper arms, your biceps, as best you can, and then curve over towards your left. The mouth is gently closed and you're breathing again through your nose. Soften the shoulders a little bit from the ears. Beautiful. Let's come back into center and grab a hold of the other wrist. Left wrist you're holding onto with your right hand. Hug the ears with the biceps and then curve over to your right. Now, of course, if this aggravates your shoulders, your arms might be forward or your hands might be on your shoulders. Good. Soften the face a little bit. Let's inhale back up into center. Release those hands and gently pivot your upper body. Twist towards your right. Left hand comes down onto the right thigh. Right hand comes behind you, holding onto the chair. Our gentle first twist here. Close your eyes, staying connected with your breathing, present in all sensations. Allow a little smile on the face, a little lightness in the practice. Good. Let's inhale both arms back up, sweep them up, look up, and then exhale down and over to the other side. So right hand, left thigh, left hand behind you. Again, close the eyes, feel the breath. Notice the sensations. Try not to analyze or tell stories about what you're feeling or sensing. Just simply feel and sense what's there. Good. Let's inhale the arms back up overhead. Reach up, look up, and then exhale, let those arms come down. Really nice. From here, we're going to take the left leg out to the left. So we're widening the foot out to the left, turning the toes slightly out to the left, and we're going to straighten that right leg forward. So with your right leg extended straight out in front, you're flexing your right toes back towards your face. Now, for some of us, creating a straight leg is not possible or even available in the hip or the knee, and that's okay. You just straighten your leg as much as you can without forcing it. The important part here now is to sit up as tall as we can. So very much when we start to get into the legs, we kind of lose awareness of the upper body and we collapse a little bit. Stay present in where you're holding your breath in the upper body. Stay lifted there. Then your hands might come onto your right thigh and you may begin to slide those hands down the right thigh into a bit of a fold. As you come down though, flex your right toes towards your face and you'll feel a little bit of a stretch in the back of that right leg. So we're warming up now the legs here. Wherever you are, lift your gaze, Draw your chest forward, look forward. Again, bring a little smile to the face. It's Monday morning. You're doing some yoga. It will be over. Good, let's come back up slowly. Bring your right foot in. Open your right leg out to the right. Bring the left knee forward. So the right knee is pointing out to the right with the toes, then the left leg's pointing straight forward, then you're gonna extend your left leg out. Remember, it doesn't matter quite how straight your left leg is, it's really about now lifting up, getting tall in the spine. See if you can keep that length in the spine as you start to slide your hands down your left leg. So you're coming into a stretch here, but we're not losing the openness in the chest. That's really important to keep a fullness to our breath. Soften here what can be softened using only the muscles needed. Good work, everybody. Let's inhale back up. We're going to keep the right leg as it is. Bend that left knee, place the left foot on the floor, then open the left knee out as well. So our legs are wide, toes turned out, hands on the knees, lean forward here. So we're leaning forward. We're not just rounding down, but we're leaning out with a nice straight spine. Good. Press down into both feet and now bring your belly onto your right thigh. Keep that straight spine as you inhale, lift up, lean back, and come down over your left thigh. Come across from left thigh to right thigh, then inhale, come up and back. We're taking circles deep within the hips now. So you're feeling this more down into the hips. Good. I've got the creaky chair this morning. Good. Let's try circling the other way. Same beautiful straight spine. Make this circle as big and as full as you can. How's your breathing? Breathing through the nose. Good. One more full circle like this. And then meeting back in that forward fold, hands on the knees. So for many of us, you might want to scoot forward a little bit on the chair so this, your sit bones are on the edge of the chair. As you fold forward, it's often a little bit more comfortable. If you have any concerns for blood pressure, you're going to keep yourself like this, hands on the knees, maybe elbows on the knees if it feels okay. If there's no concern for blood pressure, your hands can come down towards your ankles, maybe even onto the floor on the inside of the feet. Doesn't matter really where the hands are. Keeping the knees wide though, don't let them fall in. Lift the chest up and gaze forward. Reach the chest forward, soften the shoulders. Deep, full body breaths here. So this is our happy baby pose. Really good for the hips, really helpful to ground us, help us become more present and aware where we are. Beautiful. Now, if you're comfortable with coming to a stand, you're going to simply now lift your hips off of the chair. Keep your hands and feet where they are, but hover those hips off the chair. That's just an option. It's not necessary. You can also keep your hips on the chair. That's okay too. But wherever you are, keep your head lifted, heart open, pressing into the feet and breathing. Good. If you have your hips lifted, hands on the floor, you might bring your hands up onto your knees. Nothing else changes. Stay low in the hips. If your hands are on your knees, maybe bring them up by the ears. Reach the arms forward. Gaze is lifted. Good. Press into those feet now and inhale, straighten the legs, reach the arms up, look up, exhale, let the arms come down. Inhale, big breath in, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Good, inhale, sweep them up. Exhale, arms down. One more time, inhale. And exhale, let them go. Good. Bringing the feet in now, come to stand or sit in your Tadasana. Feet are hip distance apart, palms open to the sides, shoulders back. So wherever you are, you're feeling a stacking sensation of shoulders over the hips. If you're standing, you'll then feel hips over the heels. If you're sitting, it's your knees over your heels. And if you're comfortable here, closing your eyes, try closing your eyes. And again, notice what you're noticing here. Notice where sensations are happening. Don't worry about the history of those sensations. If you've had them before, haven't had them, you're just simply feeling what you're experiencing now, just as it is now. Okay, let's bring our hands on our hips. If you're in the chair, you're going to do that as well. It's not quite as necessary, but it's just a good place to place the hands. Take your feet a little bit wider if you're standing. If you're sitting, keep your feet underneath your knees in line with your hips. And we're going to have the hands on the hips here to remind us to keep our hips forward. So one of the benefits of staying seated is your hips will stay pretty still, but the motion is the same. From here, we're going to keep our hips forward and turn towards the right with the upper body. So right shoulder back, left shoulder forward, looking off towards the right. Then bring yourself back into center. And you're going to turn now left shoulder back, right shoulder forward towards your left. Keep your hips forward. So I'm not there with you. I can't actually help you keep your hips forward. You have to feel what you're doing. Bring your shoulders back into center, and let's again go to the right. Square those hips to the front. Don't let them twist. Then let's come back into center. Go to the left. Beautiful. Back into center and to the right. And center and to the left. Very good. Now, if you have any concerns for the spine or the hips or the knees, you're going to stay as you are with your hands on your hips, working to keep those hips pointing straight forward. If you don't have any of those concerns and you found you were able to maintain that squareness of the hips, your arms can now come out to your sides. We're going to do the same action, but now without the hands on the hips. It's very common for those hips to want to come with you. Keep the hips forward. So let's turn towards the right. Right arm reaches back behind us. Left arm comes around with the shoulder. So we're not letting the left arm sweep in front. Keep it with the shoulder. Then come back into center and let's go to the left, twisting to the left. So you're really leading with that back arm. Then come forward. Then go to your right. And then forward. And then to your left. Very good. And forward. Let's do one more each side. Right. And forward, and then into the left twist, and forward. Really nice. Let's let the arms down, give them a bit of a shake, give the legs a little bit of a shake. So we're going to build on that. So you have an option. You can stay with your hands on your hips and work the twist from here. You could, if you have any concerns for breathing right now, or lightheadedness or blood pressure, you could keep the arms wide and stay with that slow turn. Otherwise, you're going to join me here, and we're going to come into a little bit of a breath work. So we're going to keep those arms wide. When you twist to the right, you're going to tap your chest with the left hand. Then when you twist to the left, you're going to tap your chest with the right hand. I'm also going to advise you to allow yourself to pivot off of your foot, especially for those who are standing, as you twist. That's going to take out the twist from the knee. If there's no concern with your knees, you could work with your feet planted, but it does add a little bit of twist. Okay, let's start here. Arms wide. Take a big breath in. Really expand through the chest. As you soften through the exhale, let those shoulders come down. Beautiful. Inhale now, twist to your, inhale. Let's inhale again. In through center. Then as you exhale, twist to your right and tap your chest with your left hand. Inhale, center, twist to your left. As you exhale, tap your chest with your right hand. Good. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You can inhale or exhale. You can exhale through your nose or your mouth. Good. Keep going. A little bit faster. Feel any lightheadedness or dizziness, please take a seat in your chair, let it pass. We're really getting that blood flowing this morning, getting that energy moving out some stagnation from sleep. Good. Really waking up to our day. Let's do 3 more each side. Last one. Good. Release the breath work. Let the arms come down to your sides. Slowing the motion down, plant your feet back into Tadasana. Turn the palms forward, shoulders back. If you have any lightheadedness or dizziness, please take a seat for a moment. Maybe softly close the eyes. Again, notice what you notice. Stay within your experience. Don't let the mind wander. Beautiful. Okay, if you're standing, you're going to take your chair now to your right side, turning the back of the chair towards you. If you're using a chair that doesn't have a back, you might want to come to a wall or a table. That's a good height for you. If you're sitting in the chair, make sure you're sitting partway forward. And then from here, those who are standing, keep your right hand on the chair. And again, come to stand tall. We're really focusing today on lifting and opening from the chest. So not from the chin, but from the chest. So let the head and the neck be quite relaxed and at ease. We're going to open through the chest. Good. Now, wherever you are, you're going to press down into that right foot and make your right leg as strong as you can. Good. Then come up onto your left toes and pivot the left foot out. So if you're in the chair, I'm going to ask you to actually move the whole leg out to the left as far as is comfortable. If you're standing, you're going to pivot just on the toes and bring that left ankle into the, or left foot into the right ankle or up onto the right calf. Either place is fine. Good. If you're standing, you're actually pressing, actively pressing the left foot into the right leg. Good. And then wherever you are, we're lifting tall, feeling the strength in the right leg. Take the left arm up overhead, or maybe fingertips to shoulders. Steady your gaze out in front. And then some of you might work with the hand that's on the chair. You might lift a finger or two. If you're sitting, take both arms up. Good. Feel down into the legs wherever you are. Really press down into that right leg. Open the chest. Good. Maybe start to lift the gaze up. Really reach through those fingertips. Lift the sides of the mouth up. Remember, we're just doing yoga. A little bit of motion for ourselves today. We have a whole day ahead of us. Beautiful. Let's take the right hand down first. Then let your left arm down. Then release your left foot. Coming back into your Tadasana. Take some deep breaths here. Remember those 8 count breaths. Try to lengthen those inhales and balance out those exhales. Good. Then lifting up your chair, lift and move it over to the other side. Excuse me. So now your left hand can rest onto the back of the chair. Pressing down into your left leg, make that left leg nice and strong. Doesn't matter if you're standing and sitting, the work is the same. It's through this left leg. And then we get as tall as we can. Then from here, you might come onto your right toes and you're gonna pivot that right knee out to the right, just as far as it's comfortable. If you're sitting, you're actually physically moving that leg out to the right. Then bring your right foot in. This is for those who are standing. Bring it into the left ankle or up onto the left calf. Please avoid the knee joint. Don't put it on the knee joint. But then press the foot and the leg together. Good. Lift from the chest. Take that right arm up. Stay with your breath. If you find your mind wandering, try deepening your breath. Exaggerate your breath a little bit more. Anchor your mind here to the practice. Good. Some of you might start to work with the hand that's on the chair. If you're sitting, lift both arms up. Lift the chest, lift the heart. Maybe even start to turn the gaze upwards. There's lots of growth and stability happening down in the lower half of the body that is freeing us to grow taller through the upper half of the body. Beautiful. Let's take the left hand down first, then let the right foot come down, then the right arm, returning to our Tadasana. Closing the eyes if it feels okay for you. 5 really deep, full breaths here. Soften what can be softened. Okay, if you're standing, you're gonna go ahead and turn your chair so the seat of the chair is facing you. And you wanna make sure you've got lots of space behind you. If you're sitting forward on the chair. And we're all meeting back in Tadasana. So those who are standing are facing the chair. Good, palms open, shoulders back. Then from here, inhale those arms wide and up. Look up again, get long through the body, gaze upwards. Exhale now and fold forward. If you're sitting, hands or elbows come onto the knees. If you're standing, hands to the seat of the chair. Straighten your arms, lift your gaze, look forward. Exhale, gently fold deeper. Be mindful of that blood pressure. Keep your head above your heart if it's needed. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the gaze, look forward. Exhale, bend those elbows, fold down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, straighten the arms, look forward. This time as you exhale, if you're standing, walk your feet back into your downward facing dog. So you're holding onto the seat of the chair, taking your feet back away from the chair, heels sinking to the ground, soft knees, hips out over the heels. Beautiful. If you're sitting in the chair, your hands come together now in front of you, sitting up tall. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward. Take those arms up as high as you comfortably can. Lift the gaze up. This is your downward facing dog. Nice, deep, full breaths here in downward dog. Gaze towards the chair and take your left foot. Step your left foot up towards the chair. That's for those who are standing. If you're sitting, you can let your arms come down and extend your left leg straight out towards the left. If you're standing, turn your right toes, that's your back leg, turn those toes out to point towards the right. From here, let's all straighten that left leg. Look towards the back of the chair, look forward towards the back of the chair for those standing. Press down into both feet equally. Notice the strength, notice the sensations. You're gonna hold the chair. This is for those who are standing. You're gonna hold the chair with your left hand, release that right arm, sweep it out to the right and open up towards the right into triangle pose. If you're sitting, you have your left leg extended out to the left. Slide your left hand down that left leg as you reach your right arm up. This is your triangle pose. Very similar effort here. Good. Wherever you are, meet what you're experiencing with a presence of breathing. Allow the inhale to expand you. Allow the exhale to soften. Good. We're going to release that right hand down. If you're standing, turn those right toes in. And let's all go back to our downward facing dog. So coming back into your downward facing dog variation. If you're standing, you're gazing towards your toes. If you're sitting with your arms overhead, looking up towards the sky, wherever you are, full body breaths here. Those who are standing have an option to come forward into plank pose if they choose. Shoulders coming over wrists, heels over toes. You might bend your elbows, wrap those shoulders back, lift the chest up and through into upward facing dog. That's an option, not necessary. If you're in that option, let's come back now to downward facing dog for one more breath. And then from here, gaze towards the chair and step your right foot up towards the chair. If you're sitting, you can allow your arms to come down. And you're going to take your right leg out to the right and straighten it there. If you're standing, your left foot, this is your back leg, you're going to turn that left foot out towards the left. Good. And then from here, we're all straightening the right leg again, just as best you can. If you're standing, you're going to press into both feet equally. Hold onto the chair with your right hand and free that left arm up. Open it up towards the left and up towards the sky into your triangle pose. So if you're sitting, you have that right leg out to the right. Your right hand's coming down that right leg as the left arm opens up towards the left. Look up. Beautiful. Big body breaths here. Nice. Slowly, gently release. We're going to return to our last downward facing dog. So if you're standing, turn your left toes in first, step your right foot back into your downward dog. If you're sitting, you're in your Tadasana, palms together, hands interlaced, pressing those palms forward and up. This is your downward dog. Meet any posture with a full awareness of breathing. If you're standing and you want to take an option into plank, you're welcome to do that. Coming forward again, shoulders over wrists. Maybe coming onto your elbows if you find this hard on your wrists. For those who want a little added challenge, you're going to bend your elbows, wrap the shoulders back, bring the chest through. So try not to let the hips sag. Keep a little tone in the legs. And then let's meet back in downward facing dog. Take 2 more breaths here in downward dog. Good job. If you're comfortable coming onto your knees, from here, using the chair for support, you're going to lower yourself onto your knees. Bring your big toes to touch. Keep your knees wide and sink your hips back, letting your hands come onto the ground into child's pose. If you're comfortable coming to the floor, but sitting on your knees is painful in any way, you can come down onto the floor, lay down on your back, take your knees into your armpits and hold onto the shins. If you're sitting, releasing your arms now, take both legs wide and then fold forward from there. Elbows may be resting on your thighs or hands might come to the shins or ankles. So if you're not comfortable coming to the floor, take a seat in your chair. You have a beautiful option here. Coming back into that happy baby variation we took near the beginning of class. Staying where you are now and breathing. For those of you who are on the floor, if you're not already on your back, you can slowly come up and then roll yourself onto your back. So you're laying on the ground with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. If you're sitting in the chair, you're going to make yourself, bring yourself up to seated. Bring your feet in. So for those sitting in the chair, you're sitting upright and you're going to actually pivot yourself now towards the right-hand side of your chair. And make sure that you're able to fully sit on the chair here. Notice as I come to the right, I'm not rounding my spine, I'm lifting up. And then bring your hands around to the back of the chair into your twist. If you're lying on the floor, you have your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Take your arms out wide to the side. And then slide your hips to the right, just your hips. Slide them a little bit to the right. Bring your knees up and into the belly. You can take your legs to your left. If it's okay for your neck and spine, you might turn to look towards your right hand. Or maybe not, maybe keep your gaze straight towards the ceiling. That's okay too. Or maybe for you, if it's more appropriate, you stay lying on your back, letting the knees fall together and breathing. Find those long, smooth, balanced inhales and exhales. If you're sitting in the chair now, slowly unwind, pivoting through center and over to the left side. So sitting on the left side of the chair, Taking a hold of the back of the chair to come into your twist. If you're lying on the floor, you're gonna keep your feet touching the ground as you fan your knees back up, walking your feet back into center. And then slowly slide your hips over to the left-hand side. So you're gonna move your hips through the center point and over to the left. Then float the feet off the ground and take the legs to the right. Soften what can be softened here. So often we hold tension in the shoulders. If you can soften the shoulders a little bit. Try closing your eyes. If you're sitting in the chair now, again, take your time, unwind your upper body, pivot to face forward, and then slide all the way to the back of your chair. Take your time now to set yourself up in your Savasana. If you're lying on the floor, keep your feet on the ground, float those knees up, rolling the hips down. Shift now your hips back into center. So you'll feel that through the spine as you align your shoulders and hips, letting the spine run straight. Take your feet wide for a moment and let the knees just rock a little bit from side to side. Just easing any last bits of tension out of that low back. Then from here, if you're lying on the floor, you can now set yourself up for your Savasana. So if you have any socks or sweater you might want to put on, you can do that. Grabbing a pillow or blanket if you like, any props you might use. But as we take this time to set up, make sure you're staying present in your practice, not allowing this opportunity for transition to distract you or take you away from your intention. Good. So if you're sitting in the chair, you're sitting all the way to the back of the chair, maybe placing blocks or books underneath your feet to give them a bit of support. Letting your hands rest on a pillow on your lap. If you're lying on the ground, you might have put a pillow underneath your knees or behind your head. If you wear glasses, this is a really good time to remove your glasses, or if you have any watch or jewelry that's maybe a bit heavy, it's a good time to remove that. If you're lying on the floor, I'll encourage you to let your arms go wide, turn your palms up. If you're sitting in the chair, your hands are resting in your lap. Wherever you are now, soften from the neck and shoulders. Let go of any effort of breathing. And come to settle into a place that is heavy, supported, and still. So even as the world might be moving around you, you are choosing at this time to quiet the world inside of yourself. We'll spend a few moments here, and I'll bring us back out when it's time to close the practice. Keeping your body still and eyes closed. I'm going to share one of my favorite poems. I've shared it with some of you before, but I always find at the beginning of a new year, this is a beautiful one to kind of set in for the year. Let it go. Let go of the ways you thought life would unfold, the holding of plans or dreams or expectations. Let it all go. Save your strength to swim with the tide. The choice to fight what is here before you now will only result in struggle, fear, and desperate attempts to flee from the very energy you long for. Let go. Let it all go and flow with the grace that washes through your days, whether you receive it gently or with all your quills raised to defend against invaders. Take this on faith. The mind may never find the explanations that it seeks, but you will move forward nonetheless. Let go, and the wave's crest will carry you to unknown shores, beyond your wildest dreams or destinations. Let it all go and find the place of rest and peace and certain transformation. And maintaining a stillness, turn your attention now towards the simple act of breathing. Notice with the potential of coming back into your day, how the mind might start to pick up. Let's see if you can stay here a little bit longer in this quiet, peaceful place. Choosing to move your body now in small and little ways. No sudden movements, conscious, tiny movements to wake up little parts of the body, one at a time. When you're feeling more awake and ready to move, you might take your arms up over your head and stretch again long through the body. Taking some deeper breaths here, really filling up and emptying out. And if you're lying on the floor, you can bend your knees, gently roll yourself over onto your side. If you're sitting in the chair, you'll fold forward, wrap your arms underneath the back of your legs, and kind of give yourself a little squeeze, a little hug here. For those lying on the floor, take your time and come to sit up, either sitting up on the floor or coming to sit back up into your chair. For those in the chair, come to sit up nice and tall. Moving a little bit away from the back of the chair, feet planted on the floor. Lifting up through the heart. Once you're seated, take your hands together in front of your heart, palms to touch. Closing the eyes once more. Coming right back into that same quiet, still place you were in just a moment ago. Take this opportunity, this moment of transition, to set a little intention for yourself for your day. Make it a kind and gentle intention. Decide how you want to greet your day. With eyes closed now, bow your head down and in towards your heart. Take as deep and as full a breath that you have taken yet today and fill that heart up. Expand up and out. And then exhale, softly sigh and release. Thank you all so much for continuing to come and to practice yoga together. So namaste.